Hello and welcome back to Shabadi Showdown. I'm Owolf. I'm replacing your favorite caster Gonzu today. And with me is Jake, who is just joining me for this interesting matchup between Railz0, and Asmir. Hey Jake, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, and I'm really looking forward to this matchup. We have actually seen Havoya play this matchup before in this division, so it'll be interesting to see how he handles it again and if he's made any changes since.
The matchup is really interesting because I feel that Rayleigh it should be favorite, but we also always should be scared about Electrical Luna. Myself, like last week, I played a game with Rayleigh against the GP, and I got hit by Electrical Luna, and that wasn't nice.
No, Electrical Luna is a very big blowout card in this matchup. And also, it depends on sort of what other techs we're running in this GP Luffy list. We can often fit in a lot of tech spaces, and the Green Zoro is another big card which can really help that early aggression.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm checking Arboya's list, and we do run one of the Green Zoro. We do run two Electrical Lunas. We do run two of the new green event, the Assure event, which is really nice also to rest and to clear up board.
I have to say, I do also really like the Hell's Judgment in this list as
Yes,
well.
it does really help to mitigate a bit of the pressure especially when Rayleigh goes wide. And I kind of like also the brochette blow because it's like a gamma knife which throws a card.
I'm still not sure of it myself personally because I do miss that really big uh, hit, but it certainly is nice and can fill in some niche situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have got the Rayleigh getting this Luffy on curve, which is such a huge point for them. However, we don't see a great body in the Nami search being deposited off of it.
Yeah, I do. I do still like doing the Luffy with the searchers because that means that the extra card you don't go minus. But of course, we didn't see the Sanji, which can be quite important in this kind of matchup, especially when GP Luffy starts to go into 6K. Sanji doesn't need anything to be powered up, so it can be like quite the aggressor there.
The great thing about playing this Nami searcher here is it has added the mole gun ready in hand ahead of this 5-don turn, which we are just going to play the Sanji pudding anyway. This mole gun may be able to clear it up next turn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I feel that if you manage to see in this matchup Luffy into Sanji immediately, that means that the first Sanji pudding can immediately be cleared with Morgan. But here you need to do a bit of shenanigan. I mean, you can, of course, reveal the events and just power up the Luffy, and then you're already at 6K. But Sanji would have been super nice, for sure.
Now, we do have a bit of a choice from Asmir here, whether he does want to mulligan this Sanji pudding.
Yeah, I feel that Rayleigh is quite of a difficult deck to pilot for this reason. You do have so many options while you play, and then since you do run a little bit of removal, managing these wings and managing the turn where you want to remove stuff and to attack, it's really tricky.
I mean,
So
on paper, like most of the time, you'd think removing Sanji pudding immediately is always great value, but it will, of course, slow down the pressure.
we see a 7 at face, 6 at face, and then with wing to the Nami.
And then we are just going to get this board cleared up.
I do like that, especially the Nami's wings onto the Nami, because the tricky part for Rayleigh is like when the opponent plays a lot of searchers, that searcher they actually are like a body that can swing and into your rested board.
And especially with the GP deck where they have just so much Don restood, those searches can be buffed up with the excess Don.
Yeah, I really like this matchup because I feel that these two are some of the decks that are like most fun to play, in my opinion. Just because you do a lot of shenanigans, you do a lot of like managing, you do draw a lot of cards, and you have to think a lot about sequencing. So I feel that they're both decks are quite skilled to play in a higher level.
Both decks are probably the two more skilled decks in the uh, current meta at the moment, and they are both very fun to watch, which does make this matchup quite fun.
Yeah, would you see putting activating stage on Sanji Pudding?
It is good that Avoy has managed to find his second Sanji pudding here, so I'm assuming he probably had the second one in hand, which is why he chose to play the first one down, despite the Mulgun.
But I think Asmir before shown us another mold gun. It was like a clear statement. It's like if you're gonna play the second one, I'm gonna kill it again.
Yeah. However, I don't think Avoy will necessarily mind that. I mean, the
No,
longer it goes, the
yeah,
better it is for GP generally in this matchup.
yeah. I feel that if Reboya manages to, oh, we see like a heavy counter here.
Yeah, we are really choosing to protect this Luffy, dropping
Ah,
3 cards just to protect it.
that was quite interesting.
But, although we do have an awful lot of cards still in Asmir's hand, so he probably is not feeling too bad about dropping it.
But that's also the kind of the power of Rayleigh that manages you play a lot of small cheap cards that replace themselves, and your hand is like quite big. That's why when you play blue against Rayleigh, Pudding is a menace.
And we are poking with 7 here.
Yeah.
I generally don't like poking with 7s against the 6K leaders, but I guess it does give us a bit of a 2K check. We are just gonna
Yeah.
straight away clear this Sanji pudding, which is always best course of action.
And then we swing with another 7. No, it's a 9, right?
Yep, because we
Because
will have the
we
boost from leader power and itself.
yeah.
We do get way down now into 1 life territory.
Which is probably where like GP Luffy doesn't really mind to stay. I feel it's can be quite complicated if we drop to 0 and then really still quite healthy because you can just do like 2 turns of unblockable and it would be tough to counter. You need to give the whole hand.
Yeah, but I do think while GP Luffy does normally like going down, it does get a bit scarier in this particular matchup where we have the additional unblockable threats.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And because Brady is not playing a lot of bodies, but is managing quite well to keep pressuring GP's life.
We've certainly seen the Rayleigh go taller rather than wider here.
Yeah. I wonder if it's a necessity, like depending on the hand that he has. Because of course we did drop the Mulligan, but in this spot we have 3 dons open. So and we know that Rayleigh can easily play 2 characters with 2 dons and still have 1 up, right? So I wonder if it's like necessity depending on the hands that we have. Maybe we have like a lot of counters.
We could just
Or
have a load of events.
yeah.
We are seeing this Zora down here into leader power. Without the Sandy Puddings, we are just straight up losing 2 Don here. We are going to try and get this Luffy off the field.
Counter with 1 Luffy.
Not going to be able to get it.
Yeah, I feel that Herboya is trying to play a longer game, trying to survive, trying to regain control of the board, while Asmir is like going tall just to try to push forward and then close it as up.
That definitely is normally the Brady strategy. Now,
I
here's
quite
where
like
we'll get
yeah.
some interesting decisions of what Asmir wants to play to continue this state. And we are just choosing to lead with a pretty nice 8k swing. However, I was worried a little bit worried about this. We were hovering 2 Don, and this did give the Hell's Judgment perfect value.
Yeah, I feel like Hell Judgment here had like it was perfect value, perfect counter right now, because now we reduced also the Luffy power, I guess. Yeah, I think we'll double check because I think yeah.
So Luffy should be at plus 4k
Now.
from itself and leader.
Yeah, so it's probably was a 6k, yes, and then he just gave the Robin.
6k.
Yeah, I do really like dice when we play Rayleigh, just because even for now, since we can't hear what they're saying, we don't know which of the character is powered up.
Certainly, why I was very excited for the 3rd anniversary kit, that we were getting the official power markers.
It's so expensive, but it's so good.
I then immediately stopped getting excited when I do actually think this is a 5k, this Luffy, because we should have been at plus 4k, making it up to an 8k.
Yeah, I think that's why it's happening. It's like they're
there we
okay,
go.
and
I was wondering if we'd missed an extra plus 1k from a hacky event there, but
no, because
we
you
are
have
just recalculating that.
+2 and then +2 from the leader ability, but we also negate with the Hell Judgment. Such a good card.
Ooh, and we are seeing a kid killer to continue on this pressure here. Interestingly enough, we're not choosing to attach 1 Don to get a very optimal 8k swing in. And we are going to instead choose to leave 2 Don open for what we can assume to be the Conqueror's Haki.
Yeah, I feel that we're like declaring that we have 2 Conqueror's Haki right now, because I saw Enrico Maria's list and he's running Radical Beam, but we wouldn't get full value now of the Radical Beam.
No, we are still at the 3 life threshold, so that isn't quite active yet.
So I feel that we just like signaling that we have 2 Conqueror's Haki, and then we probably want to protect the board to try to wrap it up.
And certainly, if these double 4 costs do stay on board, it would be a very terrifying board state.
So this is 5.
This would be 5k at the Kid Killer.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, we're in a spot where Rayleigh's hand is now being taxed quite heavily. Certainly, if we don't wrap this game up as the Rayleigh player, this low hand size could put us in a lot of danger if the board gets cleared.
Yeah, I feel that the triple counter on Luffy before was quite taxing for Rayleigh's hand.
However, it seems like we've not played many bodies out since, so I do wonder if we didn't actually have many options.
I think we had like Luffy that we countered with, and then we counter now with a Sanji, but I don't know if Asmir drew it afterwards.
We definitely countered with a Sanji in 2 events before that Luffy.
Yeah, we gave 1k for Luffy when the Roy swung 6 to 6.
There we go. We do see it.
And then Electrical Luna is clutch here.
We don't even need to clear the board. We just freeze it.
Yeah.
And we've even established a blocker now. This is looking like a really good spot for Havoya now to be in.
Yeah,
we get an extra turn to clear.
Turn. I quite like turn because he pretty much did what he did is like starved Rayleigh's hand, because he said, okay, I'm trying to clear the board because I don't have any other solution. Rayleigh gave all the whole hand, and then he just like, nope, they're not gonna restant.
And certainly with only this many in hand, we are not going to be able to get to protect it next turn. Only 2 in hand. Yeah, that card on the right-hand side of Havoy's board is the Robin AA, the free cost blocker.
Yeah.
Ooh, and this is the unfortunate part of when Rayleigh gets down to a low hand. For leader effect, we are just having to reveal both cards in hand. We now have perfect knowledge of exactly what Asmir can do.
Yeah. And that sounds a really good spot. We saw a perfect value out of the green event because Asmir swung for 8k and then Roboy just like tapped 1 plus 3. So it didn't even reduce the Dawn with a giant.
Now with knowledge of Asmir's hand, we can very easily clear these 2 4 costs.
Yeah.
With a life to spare. So even to Russia, we are pretty safe.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's just 2 2Ks essentially in hand, we don't need to put anything additional onto this.
Yeah, we're forced to over counter, like, okay, what now? Yeah, we're going even.
The board just does fall. I guess there's also the thing of we know we have that is power event in hand, which we may want to keep in hand in case we have to force an unblockable lethal. I'm just struggling to see what this card is we've played here. I think it's the Zorajuro.
I think it's Sanji Pudding because he did drew. So
yes.
it drew a card and then it did the when you're at sea, and it looks like it's a 5 cost on the upper
yes, that
side.
is a 5.
So in fact, we activate leader ability now as well.
We do currently have 3 Dons
To spare.
left up. I think the choice is here if we're even going to bother swinging into this army or not.
It depends if we want to start dropping Rayleigh's lives to start threatening a little.
Yeah. I can definitely see sense in both ways. If we drop them down now, we're giving us really good chances for next turn with Gundam Giants. With not Gundam Giants, for Rush Luffy.
Yeah. Because now, yeah.
We are probably very confident to survive if we're forced to be swinging with the Nami for a lethal turn here.
Yeah, because we forced Asmir to do a suboptimal plays. Like, okay, you can swing with the Nami, but that's a heavy investment in Dawn.
Are seeing the Boa off of the top deck here. What can we find to try and end this game?
It's a rat beam.
Certainly, that isn't helping us end this game, but rather try and survive.
So clearly now, Boye started to be the aggressor because Rayleigh, for the first time, is gathering up like the event to defend. So he knows that he's on a clock and he needs to wrap up the game quick. I was checking also Rayleigh's list, and there are like a couple of tech options which are quite interesting. We do run 1 of the Radical Beam. We do run 4 of the Unblockable events, 2 of the Armament Aki, and 1 Vista.
Now, I do really like the Vista here as a potential way of outing the mirror.
Yeah.
In this matchup, it still has a potential use of popping like a Nico Robin blocker.
I just don't. I'm just not really a fan that it's only a couple of events they search it? Because I feel only the observation Aki can search it, right?
Yeah, it
'Cause
can
he's
only be searched off at observation hacky,
yeah.
but it can be boosted by the leader effect, which is a nifty little trick as well.
The observation is 3 cost or higher, yes, and so you can pick up Vista, and yeah, I do. That's the reason why you do really like Buggy in this deck because it immediately goes up to 5, and then you can swing with it rather than the other searches that they need like the extra don.
Do you see Asmir mentioning to get this final life? And we have perfect knowledge of what's in his hand. We've got the Conqueror's Haki, we've got the Rad Beam, and the Vatis Power, which is quite a tanky hand.
Yeah, that's quite interesting because we know then that we probably are unlikely to manage to win this turn. And the question is, do we survive?
So we are just poking a 5 here. I do like this a lot because we know there's not any 1Ks. And now we do add a unknown card into the mix here.
Jack says that he hates the Vista card he ruined in OP4.
RG
RG
Dorvis,
though.
Luke Rock. What good times they were.
I wasn't playing at the time. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Mono Blue Crocodile.
The one from the starter?
Yep.
Was it powerful?
I never understood the hype.
Okay, okay.
I always have a hatred for that leader because it felt like the effect was a Dom minus effect on a blue leader, which just didn't compute.
No, that was weird, yeah. And I just felt like from the tales that I've heard that pre OP5, pre OP4 it was like all Newgate mirrors, right? There were a lot of like red Newgate decks, right?
There was, however, I was happy enjoying my black decks at that time.
Okay, okay. And tomorrow engine scan your whole deck. With the pacifistas that you can run any amount of copies, right?
Yes, that is the one.
We did have a lot of power creep in the meantime. But back to the game, we see that Revoyas is.
We are trying to calculate lethal maths here. It is this Conqueror Hacky does make the lethal maths awkward because a 7k swing can just eat up perfect value off of it. But it looks like we are just trying to force that Conqueror's Hacky out now. Which is definitely a good idea because if we do have this Rush Luffy in hand, we want to see that Conqueror's Hacky played out before we get a restand out. We are opting to take this.
That's interesting. Probably we are afraid about the Rush Luffy. You see 5 in hand, yeah. And we don't know 2 of them, right?
We've got knowledge of 3 of them. 2k, a Rag Beam, and the Conqueror's Hacky. So certainly getting through that kind of hand, multiple swings is generally better because we know the Rad Beam can absorb 1, the 2k can quite easily add to counter.
This is a quite interesting turn that a single miscalculation can easily cost you the game. both in swinging and countering.
Definitely. Especially, and it's not simple either from both players because we have still got the leader power from GP Luffy available too. We are choosing to swing 9 here. We could be getting a rad beam hit for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we now know an extra one of those cards in hand.
I liked swinging 9 because at least we didn't offer full value from the rad beam.
We get it. And now we do know that rad beam is gone, so a big swing does look a lot better now.
Let's see, Conqueror's Haki.
This is 6 Don under this Luffy. It's 7 Don under the Luffy, so this is a 13k swing.
13, yeah.
And then we are boosting Rayleigh up to 9,
2,
11, and we do just take this. If I have done my math correctly.
I didn't see. It was a brief moment.
We do reduce. If I've done my math correctly, we do reduce this down to a 12k swing, and we do have 3 2ks then. So that was just about taking it for.
That was a crazy ending.
It's matchups like this where those power counters do come in handy because saying this over stream can prove a little difficult when we don't have the audio.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one is live, so it's interesting to see. That was a really good matchup. I really enjoyed it.
That was really well played from Havoya there. And thank you, Dirkless, in the chat. We have been working on our silky voices.
We've been training for it.
Getting special voice lessons from Gonzo.
Yeah, Gonzo is the official caster, and then we're just like
B team while he's off gallivanting.
So we do see Rayleigh immediately keeping the hand, while GP is like mulligan. So I guess in Rayleigh's hand, that means that you either have a couple of searchers or like the Luffy Sanji combo or something really good, right?
Certainly, with this Rayleigh deck, that Luffy or double searcher is very nice if we're getting the second, which I'm assuming we will be. Or the Luffy is very nice. Personally, I think I would opt to go for the double searcher because then you're very likely to find the Luffy, depending on the searchers. But both are probably very good hands to keep.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like when you have like a couple of searchers or like when you start with 3 buggies against Zoro. It's like that feels good. Yeah, we did see Asmir taking second, of course. Buggy, and we take. It's a more.
There we go. We are just waving this Mulgun in Railz0's face again.
I mean, sometimes also the offering information and then deciding what kind of information that you offer, it can skew the matchup that you force the opponent to play in a different way. It's like showing the Morgan here is like, okay, do you really want to play the Sanji Pudding?
Yeah, but it definitely puts doubt on whether you want to play it or not. Because it is such a pivotal card for the GP Luffy deck. I have to say, these searches from Asmir were probably perfect. We're finding a key removal piece, and then we are finding the Luffy here, which I'd be very surprised if we don't see it being played down on curve.
we do see immediately the 5Ks win for with Buggy, like just 2 events shown, and then we show the same events. Then we drop. That's a perfect start.
Ooh, this is a terrifying start from Rayleigh.
Yeah. That's really nasty. When you see this kind of stuff from Rayleigh, it's scary.
Now, I do like the fact that we've got this Frankie established to try and help swing into some of this board. Luckily, Frankie is a strike character, so it can hit this buggy, but we only have one rested body here, so taking down the attacking force for next turn is going to be hard.
It's kind of the turn where you would like to establish the Sanji pudding, which we don't have probably because we searched now.
I guess
But
it
we
depends whether we had one in hand but want to try and save it, or if we are. If we only have one in hand, I'd be hesitant to play it.
Yeah, true. We do 4. We round 1.
We are still getting you in this leader power despite not having a Sanji pudding in play, using this Frankie to kind of mitigate the Don loss of it. But most importantly, becoming a 6k leader to weather this very terrifying board.
Yeah, and then we'd go to 6 done later, and we might want to drop the first Sanji pudding, knowing that most likely it will be popped.
We are choosing not to swing here into life. We are trying to get a little bit of a starve on the Rayleigh so that we can better take out this board on the following upturn. Which
So I wonder if like Roboya just decided to starve a little bit more, just because he saw how the first game went, where Asmir was a bit more aggressive and greedy with counter and going face. And then
Yep.
he managed to edge the game, like starving it, and then with 4 cards in hand, he managed to clear up the board and then take the game.
Certainly Asmir's hand is quite big here, and adding an extra card to it could make removing these bodies that bit trickier. So we do get to see adding another 4-cost Luffy to hand. However, we are choosing to play a Nami instead of just straight up playing the Luffy.
This is Sanji? Yes, Sanji.
This is I'm gonna say that's the manga version for now. We'll go with that.
I mean, that card has gotten so expensive.
I haven't actually seen how.
I think it's like 9 quid each for like the minimum
Oh,
UK.
these EB cards do get scary.
It's not even EB, it's
It's not
OP10,
even
right?
EB, it's OP10 because it was with the smoker support. So
I think
we are walking into this Hell's Judgment here.
Yeah.
I am wondering whether this Sanji swing was on the Frankie or into life. I'd be more assuming it was into the Frankie if we were using the Hell's Judgment this early.
Yeah, that would make sense because we still want to ramp afterwards, and Frankie could be quite helpful in contesting board, especially how considering how wide Rayleigh managed to go.
We don't
Sure,
officially know what how the second target of this Hell's Judgment would be on, but if I was in the Havoya situation, it would most likely be on the leader to force his other bodies to swing sideways.
Yeah. Oh, we powered up the Shaku.
Yeah. We are just going to be trying to poke at this Frankie.
Yeah, so it's 4-on-4.
Which pokes are a very dangerous first GP Luffy deck.
Yeah, especially because right now GP doesn't have that many cards in hand. We do see only 5, right? So dropping to 4 with an aggressive board is not the nicest thing to do.
I'm just choosing to let it go. And thank you very much, everyone. We have just gotten over 50 viewers. Thank you all for tuning in. And we do promise you several more best of 3 games today.
And all really good matches. I mean, here we'd
All
see.
Div 1 matchups.
Yeah.
And we are seeing the second Luffy into Sanji drop. This does seem like a perfect start from Rayleigh. Double Searcher into double Luffy Sanji.
That is very scary.
But that Hell's Judgment really putting in work there, because if we didn't have that up, we would be certainly down to 2 life at least. Yeah.
Yeah, but as you were saying, it was like a aim towards the leader. So at least Asmir was forced to rest the Luffy. But it's kind of tricky from here because Rayleigh's still on 4 lives. It still has a bunch of cards in hand, as if nothing ever happened. Yeah. And the board is scary.
This board could very easily be protected. What I do like from GP Luffy here is as choosing not to play the Sanji Pudding first and using it after we've lost a little bit of Don allows us to get this additional draw from the Sanji Pudding, which playing it on curve wouldn't allow. And every card matters in this matchup.
In this matchup, you want to see all the cards, all the possible 2Ks, but this situation is tricky. We see Boy really needs to think things through in this turn because it's kind of scary.
I guess it depends how much Don we want to use here to guarantee the board and how much Don here we want to save up for any potential defense.
Yeah, because
we are choosing to swing just 6s into the board, but we're getting down this Sanji blocker as we are on considerably less Don.
we have only 4 in hand. That means that most likely we see the Maul this turn from Asmir.
We definitely could see the Maul being played here.
Because we already had the threshold with the Sanji.
This is going to be a very scary board. We've got, essentially, with the Luffy effect, even without using leader effect here, we've got 3 6k bodies on the board ready to be chugging down at this life.
I was checking on Herboy's lists, and we do have the interacts with the board pretty much only Luna and the green event, the Ashura event. So, of course, if we survive, Luna will be amazing to buy another turn.
A Luna on this board would be good, but it's just what we can do with that extra turn is going to be the tricky thing. Because it's not exactly we can use the extra turn to go for game. We would probably be using it to try and clear the board. But there's always the thing with Rayleigh. The board replaces itself so easily.
And the cards are also replacing in the hand. It's so fun to play as well.
So we are seeing the event off of trigger here. And we are adding a Sanji Pudding ready for next turn. I wonder if this will influence if Asmir wants to drop a Mulgun on this Sanji Pudding, knowing that a second one is coming.
Okay, we take again. It was probably an 8k, right? We powered up with the leader ability.
Yeah. Oh, we are going
all in.
Very big here. I do quite like this because we know we've not got any Don open,
We need
but
a
we
block
are
with this
still
Sanji.
gonna be choosing to get rid of this Mulgun. I wouldn't
Why?
have actually hated it if we had gone for a very big turn there, but I guess we do have a blocker which would have eaten it up. And no hesitation, we are dropping down a Sanji pudding to replace the one we just lost.
But I feel like we are like in the perfect spot because GP now is kind of forced to try to. It needs to clear board, but at the same time, it needs to go for pretty much for game. And if we do have a couple of unblockable events, we can literally survive a couple of turns just like 12, 15.
It would be rough. I mean, for life, we can take our time here.
Yeah.
I think very interestingly, Asmir chose not to swing with the 4-cost Luffy here. So we are even playing around the Luna as well.
Yeah. I think that probably was a play that since he saw that there were no dawns up, he just decided, okay, no giant, so I can go tall. And then, so it was a really good turn for him.
I'm going to be claiming one of these Sanjis. We are going to be claiming both of the Sanjis, but just like that, the hand size immediately grows back up by 2 cards. What can Boy potentially set up with these 4 remaining Dons to try and stay alive?
Just win with Sanji. Then we play Nico Robin. One done up. It's tricky.
I bet no one in chat can guess what that one done up in GP Luffy will be.
It will be the green event, right?
Of course.
So with week 8.
Funny enough, the green Dead Man's Game would get maximum value off of that.
But then we die from the unblockable, right?
We would definitely die from the unblockable if we do that. That is gum gaming.
It's interesting that we giant it out because then we can just do the unblockable and close and wrap up the game. Yeah.
Yep.
So
And we are just seeing the hand immediately scoop here.
So that was quite interesting. I don't know if at that point it would have made more sense to block the first with the 8K swing and then try to counter, but maybe Reboye didn't have any counter in hand. But yeah, so we go to.
You get to go to the best of 3, which does make this rather exciting. And we will get to see Havoye play most likely on the even curve now.
You think? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you don't really want to Rayleigh to go second. Even if when he goes first, it can be scary. If he sees the event, he starts like poking. But
the GP Luffy deck also does like the second curve as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm really enjoying these games. Like they shown why it's like Division 1 games, and then it's a lot of like interesting choices, a lot of interesting turns. What would be, in your opinion, a good starting hand in this matchup for GP? Because we know what kind of hand Rayleigh wants. He wants to go wide and then he searches and then maybe the Luffy Sanji combo. But what about GP?
I mean, it's quite similar for the GP. I think having Nami searches on the 2-don turn is very nice to get rid of the opponent Rayleigh searches. And it also allows us to get into those Sanji puddings. I also think 4-drops are very important for the Luffy here as well. Both being able to play a 4-drop, or obviously on curve. Zoro on curve is very nice to help fight the board and while maintaining cards in hand, or even the green Zoro. And the 4 costs also you're also allowed to play Sanji Pudding into a 4 cost on your 6-on turn. So I really do think they're such a pivotal part of this going second curve.
Yeah, it will be quite interesting also to see Rayleigh going into probably a bit of a weaker curve because we did see God curve the game prior.
Once again, we are very quickly adding the Mulligan.
It's like a deja vu, right? 3 games in a row, Nami into the Mulligan.
Which is quite crazy because we are only running 2 in this list from Asmir. And we've seen 2 in the first game, 1 in the second game, and another one in this game.
I see Mulligan, I pick it.
But then we can also say the same from her boy. He sees Sanji Pudding, he gets Sanji Pudding. And we are getting to see a battle of Nami searches here.
We see immediately an early poke and we counter it with
I do
Robin.
think it's good to try and, while GP Luffy does like getting those early cards, when we know bigger swings are going to be coming from Rayleigh, it's so good to try and maintain a little bit of life.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that's inevitable, Rayleigh is going to be gunning for your life.
Another Nami, we pick Sanji this time. I wonder if we have the Luffy ready for next one. We do show Maul and a Rat Beam, so we know that there is a Rat Beam. That's a good information for later on the line.
It's very good information for later on the line because it's interesting that we didn't even show a sort of hacky event which can be used as a 2K, whereas we know that Rad Beam is most likely going to be dead for quite a while.
Yeah, I wonder if that means that these are the only 2 events that we have in hand.
Yeah, but it's certainly probably one of the worst events to be revealing to your opponent in this situation. And we are seeing this Zoro on curve. For once, GP Luffy being able to establish a bigger character first in this matchup.
Yeah, I feel that managing to establish a couple of characters for GP is kind of crucial.
And we are choosing to get this Sanji blocker.
Will it be kind of like counter fodder or?
That's the beauty of it. It can become a blocker or it become just counter. We are seeing back and forth Nami on Nami warfare here.
And with the Sanji, the Luffy Sanji play, we do see it immediately. I mean, when we search with the Nami for the Sanji, we kind of were expecting it, right?
There we go. We do have. While it is a Don later than 4, we do get it down. And we also get to go with a nice 7k swing here, pushing GP Luffy down to 2 life.
With a board that can get bigger quite quickly on Rayleigh's turn.
Searching for a piece here before we are likely going to be going into a Sanji pudding here. The another thing is, if we do go for a Sanji pudding on this turn, we would not be getting the draw from it.
Yeah, true. But I feel that most of the times the first Sanji pudding doesn't draw for this reason. Unless you do like a counter event like Hell's Judgment afterwards. But
Because in the previous games, we were seeing Hawaii actually opting to leader power early so he could get this draw off of it. But then again, he did have the Frankie in those situations to mitigate it.
yeah, I think the Frank is quite crucial in this kind of situation because doing -1 is fine. -2 sometimes can be
It takes you a whole turn back.
yeah.
Is the beauty of Frankie.
We're running only 2 of the Frankies. And
Yeah,
I was
it
checking.
does seem to have fallen a little bit out of favor.
Same as Chopper, most of the Choppers have been cut from the GP's lists. And even the Luffy Taro now has been dropped to 2. There was a moment where there were like 3 Luffy Taros. Now we see there are 2 Luffy Taros. The mandatory 3 of the Rush Luffy.
Now we are just seeing the Sanji putting into leader power into 3-cost Robin here. Which establishing a blocker here is nice. However, we are not leaving any door open. Obviously, we never wanted Gum Giant this early in the game. So, but on previous games, that early Hell's Judgment was putting in a lot of work. And it seems like we likely don't have that available for us this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with knowledge of node on up, Asa can really abuse small swings rather than giving any value on any of the events. Are choosing to take that first swing.
Yeah, that was interesting. I wonder if we don't have like an amazing hand at this point. Another 6, and we block and we search. So
I believe this would be 8 with the leader power.
yeah. Yeah, true, yeah. Yeah, I really missed the dice.
There we go. We do see the Mulgun and just another 8k swing.
Sanji and
Being able to take out one of these Sanjis and an army searcher. Now this is quite scary because obviously we want to develop this Sanji pudding here to keep up our cards in hand plus keeping up our Don. But it doesn't leave us with an awful lot of Don to try and get rid of this Luffy.
yeah, because also we know that Asmir really likes to protect the character because he's playing quite aggressive and he's shown the other couple of games. So I think that it's most likely going to protect that.
And certainly in this situation, he really wouldn't want to be going down to 0 characters on board. Just because there is still 1 life available. And he will need multiple swings to break through this defense.
Yeah, we do know how GP can be tanky at times, and it can close up games in a matter of seconds.
Now, this looks like a very nice spot. We are not only establishing this blocker, but we are still leaving 1 Don open. And we have now got 3 big bodies on board. So, while we do have quite a big hand from Asmir, if this board stays on Voyage side, especially with a Rush Luffy, we do have to be a bit careful of any potential clapback.
Yeah, absolutely. And it feels like the boy is managing to climb back into the game because we did see an aggressive start from Rayleigh as usual. We do have knowledge of the rat beam still, which that could be a problem when trying to go through game. Oh, we reached the follower goal. 400 followers, right?
Oh, I missed that pop-up if we have. But thank you very much, everyone, for following the channel. We do appreciate every one of you. Are seeing the Gum Gum Giant on this first swing. Discarding one of the Rush Luffy's in hand. I wonder if we have multiple, or if we're just saying we're going to close this game out slowly rather than fast and aggressively.
It's a healthy hand from Urboya's side, so I'm pretty sure that there was another brick. GP, at least he has one or two bricks. So I wonder, I feel like that we must have another Rush or Luffy. We took this. That's interesting. We do another mall on Sanji. I feel that the Sanji Pudding managed to win once in 3 games.
We have seen 5 mole guns in 3 games here, which is kind of crazy, seeing as we only have access to 6 in 3 games.
That's a good percentage.
The scary part is we do get the Luffy down to 0 here, which does open ourselves up for unblockable events.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what we're searching with Zoro. Pick another Sanji. But I feel that probably at this point the boy counted that if he goes all in 15k, it's fine and he can counter it.
The
Rat beam.
love-hate beauty of commentating over Havoye. He's so confident in what he's doing that he plays so fast.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing to see such a confident player. It can be hard to keep up. We did slam that turn down very quickly.
We did see also the 6k to face with or to Luffy, not sure. But we saw also the rat beam used.
Yep.
We're going to
use this boa
15K.
We do use this boa to add the unblockable event.
Okay,
we are going to
8k.
reveal this and block it, obviously, because we could easily see this. We know we have unblockable events there, so we might as well use the blocker now.
Yeah, I mean every counter matters now, right?
Yeah. This does feel like a very rough position to be going for an all-in with 2 Dawn active on the boy's side.
I
do wonder if we are gonna. Looks like we're gonna choose not to go all in here.
No.
Keeping some Dawn up, which I do quite like a lot, because in this very big swing, we are likely to force the Gum Gum Giants, which does reduce the amount of Dawn Havoye can be swinging with this turn. And we do go down to only 3 Dawn. So these are going to be very small, uninvested swings, which Conqueror's Haki can really punish.
Take this one.
That was a very quick take.
6 again. We do see the Conqueror's Haki. To see a 5 to face. And that would pass.
I mean, hard passing with 2 Dawn open again.
But if we giant it out, that means we literally have no dawns after. We're back to 3 again, right?
We are just going 14k. Discarding our 3rd Rush Luffy here. Sticky Dons.
Sure. I can't see. Okay.
I
It's
do believe
game.
this is just the scoop through
Game.
the big swing here. Do not have enough counter to counter this out.
And wow, 4 was watching that. And Asmir takes
Dude,
game.
yeah, we do. Asmir does take this best of 3 set, Roy revealing that he must have bottom decked 3 Uso Hachi off of one of his Nami searches, which is not where your counter wants to be in this scary of a matchup. That was a very good game. What are your thoughts on that game?
Uh quite like how the game went, and it was quite interesting to see how they both played. It's a very difficult matchup for GP. And then if you don't see your tech cards, I mean, we did see the second game was a bit skewed because Asmir managed to see like perfect curve. The first one I think was heavily influenced by the electrical Luna.
Yeah. Annoyingly, we didn't see the Luna again in the next games. And the Focus Zoro never made an appearance either.
So yeah, I think it's for GP. You need to see the right cards to manage to climb back into an unfavorite game. But well done to Asmir that managed to take a very difficult game and a very enjoyable one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. What were your thoughts? Did you enjoy it, Jake? And then we can pass to the next best of 3.
I enjoyed that very much so, but please do stick around. We've got 2 more best of 3s coming. Up next, we've got Josh Boosters is Kuzan versus On One's Luffy. I will be tagging out for the commentary for a bit, but I will be around back later for Abster versus Quoza, so do keep tuned in.